Hi, I'm Andrew Wasson. Thanks for joining me for my weekly guitar blog. It's August 4th, 2013, and this week we're going to discuss a study guide to modes, and we'll call it Modes in 4 Easy Steps. Now, this question was sent in from Crisanto. He's from the Philippines, and he wrote in with this email. Modes are a new thing for me in my guitar studies, and I've been checking out your modes videos on YouTube. Why I'm writing you is for a hope that there might just be something like a step-by-step guide to developing modes. Is there anything like this? Without tons of modal detail, can you make a brief outline that covers something like modes in a few easy steps? Thanks from Crisanto in the Philippines. Well, thanks for writing in, Crisanto. You know, there is, of course, a lot of background theory that is super helpful when it comes to effectively using the modes. However, I do believe that I can compress the learning curve of using modes into a fairly straightforward step-by-step guide. So without wasting any time, let's just jump right into this topic that I've decided to call Modes in 4 Easy Steps.
Step 1 with modal development is, of course, learning the scale shape on the neck. Now, I know that some people might perhaps fight me on this, but I personally recommend learning each individual pattern independent of the associated relative major scale. If modes are still somewhat of a theoretical mystery to you, what I mean is the modes are all interrelated to each other. In this lesson, we'll base our 4-step guide upon the Lydian mode. A Lydian is the 4th mode of a major scale, and for our discussions we'll be focusing on the A Lydian mode. So this means that the root of A resides as the 4th note inside an E major scale. However, we will obviously be disregarding the E notes and placing our entire focus upon the new tonal center of A for creating the soundscape of the Lydian mode. So next, let's hear the mode of A Lydian play through all 6 strings on the guitar.
Okay, now the second step, step 2 of using these modal ideas is one of getting an understanding of the harmonic color of the mode. And this has quite a lot to do with the unique color tone the mode gives us as opposed to the basic scale type of the same quality. So we're in Lydian mode, which is A major, and the basic major scale is slightly different from Lydian. So for example, of course, the Lydian tonality is major, and since Lydian contains the major 3rd, that's what's coloring it up as major. And since our tonal center note of A is A, we'll be using the parallel A major scale to discover the unique color tone. And in this case, the unique color tone is the raised 4th. If you didn't catch that when I had played those 2 scales. See, there's basic major. Here's Lydian. So off of A, that specific note is a D sharp. So now with this information, we'll be able to use it to determine the unique harmonic color of, in this case, Lydian mode. So in building harmonies around the unique sound of Lydian off of an A, we'll want to place a focus around how the note of D sharp interacts around different chord harmonies related to A Lydian. Now off of the root of A, our basic root chord is just A major, and we can extend that chord out to A major 7, and we can enhance this chord with a D sharp within it, and that creates A major 7 sharp 11. Plus we can even gain another interesting sound that I really like using by dropping the 7th and adding a 6th while you keep the D sharp. It's kind of like an A major 6 flat 5, I guess you call it. So what we're doing is we're going through the chords that are associated, in this case, just off the root, but you could do this off of every step of the scale. Look at every diatonic chord and notice where those D sharp notes occur, and try and get creative with that D sharp note. It's also important later to bring it out in melody and guitar licks, perhaps even around the chords as well. But we're going to look at that next in step 3, and this is where we're using the knowledge of the unique color tone, which is D sharp, to mess around with the various chords found within the harmony of the mode. mode. Now in our case here, of course that's A Lydian, and we'll be using the mode's harmony and the knowledge of the unique color tone of D sharp, and we'll be able to have some fun composing to generate a chord progression that locks down the sound of the mode. So what we want to hear is a lot of the use of that D sharp within the passages, even off of every bar of music if you can in your chord progression. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at a short 4-bar progression that I created. How it works is we're going to start on an A major 7, and then just at the end of that bar we're going to come in with an A major 7 sharp 11. Then we're going to switch over to an E major 7, which has the D sharp as the major 7 tone. And if you didn't guess it, the D sharp was the sharp 11 on that A major. And then we're going to move into C sharp minor, but even though that chord does not have a D sharp note in it, what we're going to do is get it in there by way of a little guitar lick we're going to play at that 4th bar. So we'll have the C sharp come in just to kind of bring the bar in, and then we'll have that lick. So all in all, the chord progression is coming from A major, it's going into A major 7 sharp 11, then we're bringing in E major 7, and then C sharp minor, the lick. So now we've created an interesting little chord harmony idea that we can use as a backing progression to begin going to our 4th concept, our step 4. And here's where we finally get to actually apply the scale. And this is also why the work done in step 1 is so important, the study of that scale. So in order just to have, I guess what you might call just complete freedom and flexibility over the scale, just you want to be able to easily and effortlessly just play through that mode with as much focus as you possibly can upon notes that you want to end on and sounds that you want to generate with it. It's very difficult to do that effectively if you're still thinking about where the notes are and trying to place your fingers in the right spots. It's very difficult to think of targeting into certain notes and playing the scale in a really effortless way if you're still consciously thinking about where everything has to sit in terms of the layout of the scale onto the fretboard. So really take that to heart. But what I've decided to do here is create a simple melodic line, applying the A Lydian mode, of course, over top of that chord progression that we developed back in step 3. So we're going to start on that unique D sharp tone and just kind of build into the major 3rd of that chord. Then we're going to have a guitar lick in the 2nd bar, and then back into the D sharp again on that E major 7 chord to wrap things up back into that C sharp minor. And the tone that is the major 3rd for our A major sound is a C sharp, and that's actually the root of the last chord that we're playing. So here's the melody. Well, developing modes for songwriting or just plain old improvisation is quite the task. And before every element is well defined in your playing, it will be, without a doubt, taking you quite some time to develop the modes. However, if you study this 4-step modes plan that we went through here and apply it thoroughly, you'll have a good foundational base for using modes. So let's review each of these steps quickly. Step 1 is to practice the scale thoroughly on guitar. Step 2 is that of knowing the mode's harmonic color tone and how it defines the harmony of the chords that relate back to the mode. Now, step 3 is creating a chord progression that locks down the flavor of the mode, and step 4 is, of course, creating a melody over the chord progression that you created from step 3. Now, if you'd like a deeper understanding of the modes, I'd suggest getting a copy of my ebook. It's called Using the Major Scale Modes. It should help clarify things for you even further yet. Anyway, that's about all the time I have for today. As always, thanks for watching. Have yourself a great week, and I'll catch up with you next time. Bye for now.